Hello, everybody. We are live. I'm so excited to be here with Jacqueline Capatolla, award-winning entrepreneur in the beauty industry since she was 16, a salon owner for over 27 years, a wife, a mom, and a nana to five grandbabies. Jackie, welcome here. We are so excited to hear what you've got to say to us today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. This is such an honor to be here with you, Jana. Thank you for having me. And it's just an incredible opportunity to be on different parts of the world and the globe and to come together like this. So I thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So, Jackie, I'm gonna jump into it quickly, and I'm gonna start asking you to tell us what do you do and how do you provide value.
Okay. So what I do is, so like you said, I've been in the beauty industry since I was 16 and had a salon for 27 years. So what I do is I bring you confidence. I bring you confidence by being your true authentic self, by helping you to show up and lead with confidence within yourself because there's no one like you. You're a category of one, and being able to share that with what I've learned in my industry for all these years is so important. So that's what
Yeah,
I try to focus on.
that's fantastic. So, and what motivated you to get into this industry? Like you said, you were in that industry since you were 16.
Yeah.
So, how did that happen? Tell us the story.
Yeah. So I remember playing with my baby dolls as a young girl, right? I was always an entrepreneurial spirit. I would have little contests or little like carnivals in my backyard and do different things. So the entrepreneurial spirit was always in me. I started off as, taking that and doing my mom's hair and my sister's hair and putting makeup on them. So I knew that it lit me up. And I knew that it lit me up because it was making a difference in the way that they felt. So I started doing that. And then it just stuck with me. And I went on to beauty school. Right after high school, I went on to beauty school. I worked in a salon, sweeping up hair and just, being an assistant for a long time. Got my feet wet and just, learned
Yeah,
the ropes. And that's where it all started. I just knew that
yeah.
it was something in me that was important.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, how did it progress into where you are today? Like, what's inspired you to take this on as a career?
Yes. So I was working in a salon at a young age. I was being an assistant. I was doing all the things, right? And then I got my own chair and I was able to start having my own clients. That led me to being an educator in the industry. So I would go around to different salons and teach and do things like that. And then of course I wanted to have my own salon. So I opened my own salon after that at the age of 27. I was only 27 years old when I opened my own business, and I had two small children at home. My daughter was 7 and my son was 4. So my husband and I, we just found a way to be able to make it work where I was by myself for the first year, and just it just grew and evolved. And then I opened a second salon. So I had two of them for a few years, and one was downtown Pittsburgh in like our big downtown area. And it was kind of neat because it was full circle, because that's where I started. When I started sweeping hair and being an assistant, I
Oh,
was
that's
downtown
amazing.
Pittsburgh. And then I came all the way around and had my salon down there so many years later. So
Yeah,
that's where it led me
amazing
to.
full circle
And
moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
So from there,
Okay.
yep, go ahead.
Now you can carry on. We've
Oh,
got a
so
bit
I
of
was
a
just
lag,
going to say
guys.
from
So
Yeah, so from there, I was had the salon for 27 years, had two of them for 3 years, and then I let one go and I focused on the one downtown. And then
okay.
over COVID, all of this happened, right? Everything that has happened in the world, it got me thinking like where I wanted to go with my next steps of my business. So I took my salon online, And that has been such a joy. And that's where I'm at now. My salon is online. I don't know if you have more questions on that, but that's where it's at now. And that's where I'm taking it
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Well, I think that's very interesting because for our listeners, if you're watching, you can say hi in the comments below. Tell us where you're from. And then if you have any questions for Jacqueline or for myself, you can drop it in the comments below. I'll be keeping an eye open on those comments. Um, for me, it's interesting, Jackie, because I think a lot of our entrepreneurs listening would be able to relate to that. For people who had a brick and mortar and then COVID happening and having to, to switch over to having an online business. And it's a big step. And a lot of people panicked and they didn't know what to do. And we had to be resourceful. We had to, think outside of the box and get our stuff online. And now that we are online, we see what we've been missing all these years, and not just selling to our next door neighbor, but now being able to sell to the world. And it just opens so much opportunity for us. I mean, here I'm sitting in South Africa and Jacqueline is sitting in America, and we are having this interview, and it just opens up the world to you. So
Yeah.
that's very interesting to me. And I think a lot of the women listening will be able to relate to that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, who and what has had the biggest influence in your career, Jackie?
So the biggest influence in my career, I would have to say it's my father. Yeah. You think that I would say maybe somebody like that's out there that's another entrepreneur or another, just salon owner or something like that because I'm in that industry. But my dad is just such a big fan. He's such a big fan of mine and
Oh,
he has
awesome.
inspired me to, and my mom too. But my dad just has this certain way of saying things and just inspiring me to keep going. A lot of times we want to give up, right? We want to give up on different things in life, especially through COVID. And my salon made it all the way through COVID. I took advantage of all of the opportunities that were there to keep me going. It was just when everything started opening back up and things changed that I really started to know that I wanted to switch and pivot. So my father has always been there for me. So I would say him.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. And it just goes to show that, love and community goes a long way for all of us. And if you have a support structure, then life can throw its waves at you and its tornadoes at you, but you'll be okay because if you've got that security or that foundation of family and friends that can surround you and keep you sane and believe in you, there's a big value in having people around you that believe in you. So I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And having
Okay,
and
so what
having
can
my
you
faith.
do? Sorry. Having
I'm
your
sorry.
faith, yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say, and having my faith too. My faith has always put me in perspective and put things in
Yeah.
line. So that is always such
Yeah.
a big top priority.
Definitely. Yeah, for me, I think when COVID hit, I kept wondering that, um, we that know God and have a relationship with Him, we've got that security net of falling into His arms, and I don't know how it feels to not have that, to not to be like an atheist or someone that's a non-believer, and not being able to talk to your heavenly Father and ask His wisdom, and just have that security net, someone that's always there, that never changes. It just gives you that extra layer of protection and security, and it's definitely a coping mechanism to be able to pray and to reconnect with God. Yeah.
Abs- Absolutely. I could have never made it through COVID without God, without Jesus, without praying every day, without listening to inspiring music, I love to put on Christian music and just be inspired
Yeah.
that way. And praying every day, like, really got me through hard times of shifting my career because it wasn't always easy. So, got me through all of that for sure. Every day, every moment.
Definitely. Now, for myself as well, I think being anchored in Jesus, having that personal time to spend with Him, and I can also relate to what you say in terms of worship. When I'm having a rough day or when things are tough in my life, I remember that scripture that says, "Put on the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness," and then I just put my worship music in my ears, and then I soon feel better. So I love listening to Christian music because it definitely helps me navigate my feelings and my mood and keeps me focused on what I need to be focused on. Definitely.
Right. Hmm.
So Jackie, what can you do? What is your superpower? What can you do that no one else can?
So, what my superpower is that I can help align your physical appearance and your inner beauty, your inner strength, bringing the two together and helping you to become more aligned with both. Because if we don't have that, we can't go any further.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Excuse me.
can you give us an example of how that alignment works? Because I know that people seeing you, if those two factors isn't aligned, I think people pick up the dissonance, but they can't really place their finger on it. So in terms of having your inner, what you think of yourself and what you show to the world. With my clients, I talk about your billboard of success. Is what do you show on your billboard and how do you feel inside? Because if what people see is different from how you see yourself, there's that dissonance, and then you fail to get the right message across because you may say that you're confident, but you may not show up confident, for instance. So,
Yes.
can you talk more about that connection between the two?
Yes, it's all a mindset, right? We have to know within ourselves and start with our identity, who we are, what we're here to do, our purpose and our mission. And once we know that and we understand that, we can really show up more in confident with ourselves. But we have to start there. If we don't have the mindset of where we want to go and what our future is and why we're here and what our purpose is, then we're not going to be able to show up on the outside. It starts within, and if we don't feel that, then it's going to show the way we look, the way we dress, the way we act. And when we align the two, then the magic happens, right? Because then we really start to just feel confident and
Yeah,
more brave, more bold. We step out, we step into that arena, we step on that stage, or we come here and we do this. We're able to talk and show up here because we just feel better about the way that we look and the way we feel. But we can't compare ourselves to anyone else, because if we
yeah,
compare ourselves to other people, then we are no longer our unique self, right? And I'm sorry, my voice is kind of leaving me. I got a little bit of a sinus thing going on. So I'm
shame.
sorry. I apologize for that. But we are just, trying to, um, you know, be our unique self. And we can't compare ourselves to other people, because if we do, we're never ourselves, right? So
Yeah,
in my industry, it's a lot about the way you look on the outside, the magazine cover, the models, the celebrities. It's a lot about that, but it's really not, because I've had people sit in my chair for so many years, and I know that once they look in that mirror after they're done getting their hair done and getting glammed up and all of that, they just feel so different. They become somebody else. But really, they're becoming themselves. They're starting to just feel more of themselves. And they're not thinking about other people. They're just thinking about themselves when they look in that mirror.
yeah,
And they
yeah,
really know that, that they really are truly blessed in what God has given them, the features
Mm.
that they have, the styles that they have, the personality that they have. It really does matter, and it does really take in. You have to take that in consideration when you're aligning the two, and it's so important because when you do align them, that's when the magic happens, like I said, and that's where you really find your true authentic self, and that's exactly what I help you to do.
Yeah, yeah. So it seems to me like it's a bit of a two-edged sword because it starts with your inner self feeling worthy to actually go ahead and go for that styling, to actually buy the clothes that actually suit and fit you, to put on makeup and jewelry and stuff, and feel good about yourself firstly on the inside. But on the other flip side of the coin, or the other edge of the sword, if you're not feeling that, to go out and go do all of those things, because that will also on the flip side regain confidence and help you feel worthy, so that you can regain that confidence in yourself. So I
Right.
think that is important. Yeah.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
what I wanted, yeah, yeah. So there's a story I want to share about that, but I see I forgot to plug in my laptop. So I'm just going to ask you a question and remove myself from the screen for a few seconds so I can go and plug it in.
Okay.
Um, what is the biggest lesson that life has taught you?
So, the biggest lesson that life has taught me would be to always have the presence of Jesus and God in your heart. As going on a journey throughout life, from being a child and then growing up, raising my children, getting married, raising my children, and now having grandchildren, and then on the journey of having my business in the mix with all of that, I would say keep having my faith and having God and Jesus near and dear to my heart, and being able to constantly look at my faith and being consistent with that has led me through so many different challenges and obstacles throughout. But that is the main thing. But being persistent, being consistent, and always going through the hard times and moving forward. Like, I've always been one that has enjoyed the journey. I don't look at life
Yeah,
as half empty. I look at life as half full, right? Because then we can enjoy the journey better. We can enjoy whatever comes our way, and we have ups and downs. But if we have that foundation and that feeling, we can get through those hard times a little bit easier when we have that, that faith and that consistency and that commitment and of the journey and enjoying life half
yeah.
full rather than half empty.
Yeah, yeah. So it's again, it's about mindset, and like you said, it's from your perspective, keeping your eyes on the things that are above, not keeping it on like your current situation. And what I share with my clients is that it is all about seasons, because nothing lasts forever. A season doesn't last forever. So
No.
when you're in a winter, always remember that there is spring coming. So winters don't last forever, and we just have to keep mindful of that. Now, the story that I wanted to share with you fits in with that two-edged sword of your physical appearance and your inner, feeling worthy. And it was a lady that's, I think it was a like a YouTube video that I watched, and she was talking about appearance and how that affects you and affects the way you show up. She said the morning she had to go and buy stuff, and the nearest place was the mall, and she wasn't dressed up. She had her hair kind of in curlers and just put it in a like a scarf or something, and she had like just like some basic clothes on and stuff, and she had too many things to do to actually do her makeup or do anything. So she just ran into the mall to get something from the shop that she needed. And she said nobody made eye contact. Nobody actually really noticed her. So she grabbed the stuff and she came out. And later the day, she actually had her hair done, her makeup done, and she had all the things that she was, that she had going for her. And she walked down exactly the same mall, going to exactly the same shop, but the experience was so much different because everybody
Mhm.
made eye contact with her, and she turned some heads, and she felt confident, and she showed up differently. She walked taller, and she walked proud.
Absolutely.
And it just reminds me that you know when we show up as our best self, then we activate the best experience for ourselves. When we show up as less than and not worthy, then you teach people how to treat you. And if you don't love yourself and you don't take care of yourself, then other people won't even notice you. They won't give you the time of day. But when they see that you value yourself, they say, okay, here's someone that's valuable because she values herself, obviously. So there must be value to her. So I think even for the women listening that are stay-at-home mommies, we get so busy in our day to day, and even me that's working from home, it's easy for me to
Yes.
get dressed up on the top and stay in my pajamas in the bottom and just, let it all hang down. But there is a significance and an importance in your appearance for yourself.
Yes.
And what I teach my teenage daughter is to do it for herself. So if someone asks her, why are you spending so much time on your hair and your makeup? We're going nowhere today, or who are you trying to impress? She always answers with, I do it for myself because I love myself and I love seeing myself beautiful. So that is something that we all can aspire to be like and
Mhm.
do. When you're a teenager, you spend so much time on your appearance, and then when you get older, you let it go. So
Yeah.
we need to take care of ourselves, and if we value ourselves, I think then we teach other people to value us as well.
Yeah. Yes. So what I do is I love that story. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That is a typical story of what it is that we need to realize. Like there are going to be days when we don't feel like showing up, and maybe we do want to have that scarf or that hat on our head and cover ourselves up and not be seen, right? There are days that we feel that, and that's okay. We're going to have ups and downs, and days that are good and days that don't feel as as good as others, and you don't have to feel bad about that, but you just don't stay there. We all were in COVID, and we all were like staying in our pajamas or not doing anything with ourselves. And, at the end of all that, people were needing to get up and get moving and get dressed. People were needing to feel good and feel better about themselves and really like, putting makeup on, fixing their hair. Because what I like to teach my clients about that particular thing is it's respect. We want to
Mhm.
respect everybody else and we want to respect so much around us. But when we respect ourselves enough to actually get up, get dressed, and get moving, and that's one thing that my mom has always said to me, even as a young girl: get up, get dressed, and get moving, get going, right? So if we do that and we respect ourselves enough, and we think about that, like really respect yourself, like I am worth it, I am worth it. And it doesn't mean you have to be all glamorized. It just means that you have to just take the time to really just fix yourself a little bit, because it's going to bring you that confidence, and then you are
Mhm.
going to show up better for yourself
Yeah.
first and everyone else around you.
Definitely. Yeah, I see for myself as well. You've got that days that you just have 5 minutes for a makeup routine, but just
Yeah.
that 5 minutes makes a big difference. If you just have enough time to, because I use my lipstick for everything. I put it on as my lips, I put it on as my blusher, I put it on as a contour. I just use it everywhere, and then just mascara, and then I can go. So, just that little bit
Hmm.
goes a long way, for your confidence sake and for everybody else's sake.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I do teach on a 5 minute makeover that can get you
Okay.
up and out the door really quick. So that's powerful because
Sure.
even if it's 5 minutes, you're
Yeah.
taking that time for you to show
Yeah.
up better, to show up in your genius zone, to show up for you, to show up more leading, right? So
Yeah.
5 minutes is perfect too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And we do have times that we can glam up and then we can spend a lot of time doing our hair and doing our makeup and doing our nails. But even just taking that 5 minutes, I think it's just the principle of, like you said, that your mother taught you, get up, dress up, and show up. And no
Yeah,
matter how you feel, just do it because you're going to be better off. People around you are going to be better off because you're going to be in a better mood. So it's very important.
very.
Um, so when I say beauty, Jacqueline, what is your definition of beauty?
So my definition of beauty is all around us. Beauty is
Mhm.
everywhere. We have to just see it and believe it. But it really starts within. So beauty starts within yourself, loving yourself and feeling good about yourself, and then expressing that out to
Yeah,
everything that's around you. There's so much beauty in this world, so much beauty in this world that we overlook, that
yeah,
we don't take time to really just like see the detail in things and see the colorful things or see the, just the way that life evolves and the seasons come and go. That's a beautiful thing. What happens in the spring from the winter, we're blooming and we're evolving, and then the way that we really harvest and things through the fall, and just the way life flows through that circle of life.
yeah,
That's the beautiful things. And that is what I want you to see inside of you too. That you have a circle of life and beauty inside of you that you
mhm,
can, take and see that we run like that too. We run like the seasons, like you said.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
that's a beautiful thing. So beauty comes from within, but beauty is all around us too.
Definitely. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I think it speaks to loving yourself in all your seasons because we don't stay in spring the whole time. We go into a winter when we get older and loving you yourself wholeheartedly, even though you start getting wrinkles, even though you don't look like you looked when you were 17. Um, just being able to look in the mirror and still see the beauty and still see something that you can enhance because I think beauty is just something that needs to be kind of spotlighted because there's beauty in everything. So you just need to take the time to see the beauty and just being a little bit vain if you look at that videos where they do like the makeup makeovers and then you look at the women beforehand and think, sure. And then when they finish, she's so pretty and so beautiful, and just it just goes to show. And I tell my women all the time, there is no such thing as an ugly woman.
No.
There is just you need to enhance the ups and you need to disguise the lows. That's all. You need to see what is your strengths and your weaknesses, and work with what you've got.
Yes, for
So,
sure. Because one thing that I have learned by doing this for all these years, there's one common denominator with all of us. We all want to look and feel our absolute best. We all want
yeah,
to feel good. We are all we are all alike in this world. And I
mm,
think that, sometimes we think we're so different, but we're
mm,
not.
yeah,
Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to feel loved. Everybody wants to feel accepted. I've
yeah,
seen that over helping thousands of people throughout my career, men and women. We
yeah,
all are uniquely made. We all want to feel good, and we all have that common denominator. And I think what that stigma on, like, if you feel confident, maybe you're being a little bit too over top. But no, but if you
mm,
feel confident, that means you're respecting yourself enough. Confident in what you do and say and believe is so important. So don't look at it as like a bad thing to have confidence. It's not the confidence of being like disrespectful. Not that confidence we want. We want to have the confidence that that feels good, that aligns with everything in the world, and what we're doing. And that really makes a difference for people. When you start to look at it that way, it's not an
Mm,
ego thing.
mm,
It's more of a respectful thing to yourself, because being here on this earth and God has given us this gift, right? So we need to show up more confident. We need to show up and happy. He wants us to be happy, and he
yeah,
wants us to be excited about life. Even though the world tries to bring us down and divide us, we're not
yeah,
so divided. We are all very, very similar in a lot of ways. And I
yeah,
think that's so important to remember that.
definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think showing up with self acceptance, it doesn't need to be a cocky thing. It is just knowing that you are loved by God firstly, so He accepts you. So accept yourself and allow others to accept you through the confidence that you show, through that. I listened to a theologist, her name is Lisa Harper, and she talks about being inherently worthy because you're made in the image of Christ. So just knowing that you bear the king's image, you're an image bearer, makes you inherently worthy of love and acceptance. And you've been chosen
Yeah.
by the king. So we are all accepted. Maybe
Mhm.
not by the world sometimes, but we are chosen. We're chosen and we're princesses of the king. So we need to always root ourselves in that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Do not compare yourself to anyone. Just compare
Mm.
yourself to you. And then
Yeah,
when you do that, all of that other stuff that comes with like comparing, that bad stuff we don't want,
yeah,
it kind of goes away, because we don't need to do that. We just compare ourselves to ourselves and who we are. And that's what makes all the difference in life, and helps you to look at the world and look at everything half full
yeah,
than than half empty.
yeah, yeah. I came out of a season this year where I actually again had that feelings of self doubt and feelings of not being, positive about myself and about my body. And in my personal time with the Lord, He gave me that song of, I don't know if you know that song, Yeshua. I'm not sure who sings it, but in the song, she actually sings to Jesus and she says, "My beloved is the most beautiful among thousands and thousands." And we had like a conference at church where we had the bride of Christ, and they actually had a bride and a groom walk up to the pulpit and just for us to imagine what it would be like to be the bride of Christ and Him looking at us like that. And in my personal worship moment, it was like God said to me, that my beloved, you're the most beautiful among thousands and thousands. And I took that little piece of thing and I've written it everywhere in my house now. And every time I feel less than or I don't feel beautiful, I just read that and I remind myself that He looks at me like I'm the most beautiful among thousands and thousands. So that goes a long way for me to, drive my confidence up and have a
Yeah.
kind of a not a don't care about what the world thinks, but just being secure in myself. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think that comes with that comes with maturing, and that comes with getting older, and we start to realize that as we go on. Teenagers go through a lot of different emotions and things when you're younger, and then you're in the high school years and you're going through all that, and even college and a little bit beyond. And once you go along this journey, but if you keep that in your soul and inside of you, that we are all beautifully made and we are all here for, a reason. And if we keep that in our minds and know that, and not compare, especially in those younger ages, then we will go through life and not worry so much about those wrinkles and the things that come up. I'm 55 now. So,
yeah,
you know, my body has changed. Everything's
yeah,
changing at 55, right? And I'm a none out of five grandbaby. So Are there days when you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm so tired, I'm exhausted, how do I keep up with all these kids? But you just do it because you
Yeah.
know that if you don't look at it like that. Look at it as a positive way of aging, and take those things, those imperfections that you feel you may have, and just enhance them, work with them, find different ways that you can show up that make you feel better, whatever it is, whatever imperfections you have within your mind, you just kind of like flip them, flip the switch. and,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah. So I think we've already touched on this question, but um, do you believe that the way we think or mindset affects how we dress?
I do. I
Mm.
do. So, what I teach about is finding your personality and your style. We all have different personalities and style. Somebody might be edgy, somebody might be more glamorous, somebody might be classic. What are you? Are you romantic? Like, what is your style? What do you like? What lights you up? Where do you see yourself, especially when we're branding you?
Mhm.
There are things that I do to help brand you and help set you up for success. So, first we have to really find out where you're at. And when you do know what style you are and what category you fall in, that is how you're going to dress. And that's how it's going to make you feel more confident. If I sat here with, like, I don't know, like biker clothes on, that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm not, I mean, that's for somebody else and that's wonderful. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't show up as me, because I just don't. I don't ride motorcycles. It's nothing that I do. I mean, it's just not me, So we have to just kind of find out, who are we and where do we fit in and what's our particular style that's going to light us up.
Yeah.
And that makes you feel good. So yes, I feel that that does show up. And somebody that's riding a bike and wearing, all the leather jacket and this and that, they are showing up who they are, right?
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
showing up more confident. So yes, it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah. Okay, so it's important to think a bit about how people perceive you and how you would want to be perceived. What kind of message are you trying to send out? Do you want to look professional? Do you want to look relaxed? Do you want to look like a biker chick? Do you
Yes.
want to look like for me, I'm a student Christian counselor. So I need to start thinking about how my potential clients see me.
Yes.
Do I look like someone that's trustworthy? Do I look like someone that you can share, sensitive details with, that you can work with, or am I going to show up in revealing clothes and make people uncomfortable? Not that there's anything wrong with having that revealing clothes, but some women, I will say, if you've got it, flaunt it.
Yeah.
Okay, so but you need to be mindful of how you want to be perceived. And
Right.
just thinking about teenagers when they come out of their rooms with their too short shorts and stuff, um, just reminding them that um, if you um, present yourself cheap, you're gonna get the dogs. And
Yeah.
just being mindful of how people perceive you is important, because
Yeah.
that's it's showing up in how you dress, and that's the way people are going to treat you, is how you show yourself to other
Right.
people.
Yeah, positioning. I
Yeah.
teach on positioning. How are we going to position you? What are we going to do to show you up in your most authentic, glamorous, edgy, romantic style? Whatever it is, we're going to position you to be that person that aligns. Your alignment, talking back to what we started with on this conversation, aligning your mindset, your inner, your being of who you are with the way that you show up on the outside, your physical appearance. It really does matter. It matters because when the two align, that's when you really can be more in your genius zone and more into the style, stepping into who you are and being positioned to attract what you want to attract, right?
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So, in your work, do you actually deal with stuff like personality types, archetypes, that kind of thing?
Yes, we do. We help
Okay.
you with your fashions and aligning with who you are. So we give you the whole look on, like, what fashions go with what, who you are, for your positioning of what personality style you are, and how
Mhm.
you can use those fashions to really show up. Whether you like big bold earrings or not, you might like big long danglies, or you might
Yeah.
just like short little ones, like whatever
Yeah.
it is. You might like the statement necklaces. You might like fun hats. I love to wear hats, so sometimes
Yeah.
I put a fun hat. I love hats. I'm a hat girl. I do love that. So it just, it really just like whatever suits you and fits you, that's when you're going to shine. That's when you're going to smile more and feel like your eyes are going to be brighter. You're going to feel, you're going to, your shoulders are going to be back. You're going to be taller because you're going to feel more in alignment with all of it. How you are looking, how you're feeling, how your attitude is, what you're thinking about, how you're positioning yourself, how you're showing up, how you're following a script or not following a script. Like, it's just what you feel and look, and inner and outer, it works. So yes, we work on all of that to give you that look. Even with the makeup, we teach you the colors that are for you, the tones that are for you, and just everything that will help you, even the hair, and teach you
Yeah.
that too. I have all that.
Yeah.
So I have the fun part. I have the inner work, that we work on, and then we have the fun part on the outer too.
Yeah. Well, that sounds amazing. I just think there's a lot of value in talking to an expert, because when you're just a normal person like me and you look at all of these styles and all of the hair color that you can choose and all of the lipstick colors and whatever, just having that trained eye of someone who knows what they're doing to tell you, listen, this will suit you better, and look for this neckline and this kind of seam, and this kind of shoes goes with that thing. And there's so many like fashion rules that I think normal women aren't even aware of. And
Yeah.
you just see that woman in the street, and you don't know why, but she just looks so put together and amazing.
Hmm.
And that's the work that you do, is you put together the whole picture, so that when people look at you, they get that baba boom, and that is, I think there's a lot of value in doing a consultancy like that, where a woman can show up as her best self and not having to try and figure it out for yourself over years and years, and with a lot of feedback and stuff. So just having that short, it's like having a shortcut. You don't have to figure it out for 20 years and look awkward. You can just get Jacqueline and
Yeah.
let her help you and get
Yeah.
on track and just be done with it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's what we do. That's what I have done with taking my salon online, right? Like, people ask me all the time, well, how did you take a salon online? How do you do something like that? Because I'm
Yeah.
not physically behind a chair sitting at you with you in a salon. But I
Yeah.
can do this and customize things to you
Oh
so
yeah.
much, so nice now, like on
Yeah.
Zoom or on this kind of a stream, where we can customize things to you, and we can have that more intimate connection, which is amazing. And I love it because I can reach more people. South Africa, for instance, I mean, I
Yeah.
can reach
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
people, talk to more people, and help more people to really customize your particular style, your particular look, your self image, your self worth. And I just love it.
Yeah.
So, taking my salon online has been such a blessing to me. It has really been a blessing.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love it. It's inspiring me to reach out and do more. Um, just not having that knowledge, and just having someone look at it from a mastery perspective. Someone like you that's got like 27 years salon experience. I mean, what would I know? I look at Pinterest and I say, this is what I want. I don't know if it fits my face or anything. I just want that. So yeah, it takes someone
Yeah.
with that eye to tell you what
Yeah.
fits and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would love to help your audience. I would
So
love to help. Yeah. I'm here for you.
yeah, wonderful. So you guys need to contact Jacqueline if any of this resonates with you and you feeling a little bit stuck with regards to how you present yourself and what is the image that you want to show up as, for our young and entrepreneur women that are looking to start their own side hustle. When you're getting ready to do that photo shoot, your business photo shoot, and you don't really know what to put together and how you're going to show up, um, do a consultation with Jacqueline, talk to her about it, so she can get you on the right track, with regards to that. So, Jacqueline, for my audience, my main values are faith, mastery, and freedom. So, on the value of mastery, I want to ask you, do you love reading books?
I do. I enjoy reading books. I read a lot of like small books, I
Okay.
enjoy that. Yeah, I love it. So I know you probably know Jesus Calling, right?
Oh,
Have
yes, yes, I do.
Yes. So I love stuff like that where I can
Okay.
just get quick. Every day I read the daily Jesus Calling, and I
Oh,
love that.
awesome.
I love to just take that and read that daily, see what the word is, see what the inspiration is for the day. I do that every morning. That sets me up for success because it gives me like just a jolt right off the bat, right? Just
Yeah.
going and reading that daily verse and that daily little action step to go with it. I love it. So, yes, I do enjoy that. And that is something that I read every day, every morning.
Okay. So, would you say that is the book that has made a big impact in your life, or
Yes.
is there another book? Okay,
No, I would say that
The Jesus
because
calling.
I have been doing that for I have been doing that for a few years now, but I started that like probably 3 years ago, every day reading that at maybe four, and it got me through all of the COVID days of like being home, feeling alone, feeling like where you start to those days when everything was shut down and we were
Yeah,
just in our homes and you had to have something to just give you that inspiration throughout the day. So I would say that. But Think and Grow Rich, like if we're thinking about like
yeah,
business books and Think and Grow Rich, I love, the
yeah,
I love to read John Maxwell, Kelly Roach. Like there's a lot of inspiration, Tony Robbins, like Dean Graziosi. I love to read a lot of their books too and just kind of get that business sense, so to
yeah,
help me to be more of a businesswoman and show up in the business air. I love to read that personal development. I have actually taken a lot of courses on all of that, through all with all of them. Kelly Roach, Tony Robbins, and Dean Graziosi. I've taken courses with them and Pete Vargas, like just to help me to gain more of this experience in what I'm trying to do. I have my background of all these years being in the beauty industry since I was 16, over 37 years ago, whatever, almost 38 years now. But
yeah.
also the personal development that I have taken and the classes and courses that I have taken to, up level my skills and up level my personal development. It's a journey that we're all on. So yeah, reading all their books and then focusing on my daily Jesus calling has really been a game changer.
Awesome, amazing. So, I think what you said is very important for our entrepreneur women that are listening. Um, is that you may have your speciality or that your mastery in a field, but entrepreneurship is a multifaceted thing. We need to have your talent and your skill, and add to that business skills, sales skills, marketing skills. Because if you're just a talent and you don't know how to sell yourself or market yourself, then you will get nowhere. You won't get any traction. And that is why we're doing these interviews, collaborating with powerful women in the coaching industry so that we can get some awareness into what is available for you, how you can, who's available for you to help you with your specific needs and your specific problems, so that we can all grow together. We're raising the ocean. So that is why I started this interview series that I'm doing, because I know that the stuff I do can help a lot of women, but there's people in my audience that have different things that they are looking to work on. And that's why I want to provide this value in terms of having other experts coming in and sharing their value and making it available to my listeners so that we can get each other help.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
all right.
You can
Sorry,
never
Jack.
stop learning. You can
Yeah.
never stop learning. There's always knowledge to be learned and had, and grow. I mean, you do have that skill, like you said, but you have to keep pushing yourself, learning, evolving, and having a coach and a mentor to do that is so important.
Definitely. Yeah. So, Jackie, for our listeners, what are some quick action steps that our listeners can take to get a win in
Yeah.
terms of their beauty and their branding and their image and all of those things?
Yeah. So, a quick action step that you can take right now is I want you, and I'm going to challenge you to get up in the morning, get dressed, put on one of the prettiest blouses you have in your home, or a shirt that you love, and put it on and do a 5-minute little makeup lesson on your skin, on your face. Put lipstick on, put a little bit of blush on, and curl your hair or flat on your hair. Do something. I'm going to challenge you to do that. That is going to set you up for success throughout the day. That's going to get you moving. Try to do that every day. Take that 5 minutes for yourself and wear something that really makes you feel good, whatever that is. Put it on and do that, and you're going to show up much better tomorrow.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And if you're listening and if you've done that challenge, if you've taken that action, I want you to drop that selfie in the comments below. If you're watching on the replay, say hashtag replay. Drop that selfies below. I want to see you guys
Oh,
taking
yeah.
action.
Let's see those selfies.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jackie, describe your ideal client to us. Who is the people you love to work with?
Okay, so I help purpose driven women entrepreneurs 40 and above. I'm 55, so I would like to help like 40 and above. So, and women entrepreneurs that want to show up and lead with confidence and conviction in your business, in your life, so that you can position yourself and your true authentic style that you have. So that's who I like to help. That is my purpose and my driven here, to be able to give back and to make you feel and look your absolute best.
Yeah, love it. I love it. Um, all right. So this is a call to action for all the listeners now. I want you to connect with Jacqueline. I want you to get her on in your corner. So, Jackie, how can people connect with you?
So my website is jacqueline'shouseofbeauty.com. So jacqueline'shouseofbeauty.com. And they can also, I'm on Facebook, Jackie Capatolla, and my salon page is Jacqueline's House of Beauty. So you can find me there, or you can find me on Instagram at Jackie Capatolla. They can
Fantastic.
they can find me there. Yeah. And then I would love. Are you asking me about something to give away, or is that now? Should I? I
Well,
would love
if
to
you've
give
got a
something like a.
giveaway, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
let's
would
do
love
it.
to share with the audience I an assessment call. So I wanted to give you a 30-minute
Fantastic.
assessment call for free. So if
Wow.
anyone is interested in having an assessment call with me, we can take a look, and I can give you some quick action steps in that call that you can take back and do right away to help you look and feel your absolute best. And you also get a complimentary confidence guide with the call. So if anyone
Wow.
would want to set up the call with me, I would love to jump on a call with you for 30 minutes to see, just to give you some inspiration and help you. And then I'm
Yeah.
going to also give you a little guide to follow along with too.
Wow, guys, that's fantastic. Your very own 30 minutes free assessment call and that guide. Jackie, I'm going to ask you to drop it in the comments below after we finish this live so
Okay.
people can directly get into contact with you.
Yes.
Thanks so very much for spending your time with me, for sharing your expertise with this audience listening. I wish you the best of success with your online business. And it's been a true inspiration listening to you.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited. I'm honored that you had me. You are such a delight and an amazing woman. And I'm
Thanks.
just congratulations on all that you've done too. So thank you. And I would love
Thanks.
to speak with all of your audience. So reach out, ladies. I'm here for you.
Definitely. So, guys, ladies, if you've got any questions for Jacqueline, you know where to find her. You can also drop a question in the comments, tag Jacqueline or myself. And yeah, we're going to get that answered for you. And get in touch with Jacqueline. Don't let a day go by. Do it now because, life gets busy and we all forget. So, do it now.
Yeah.
Get into contacts. All right. Thanks so
All
much,
right.
Jacqueline. Enjoy your
Thank
day
you.
further. Thanks,
It's my
listeners.
pleasure. Take
All
care.
right. Bye bye.
Bye.